Hi there, it's Courtney and I'm your Cosmic Connection Guide. And today we're going to go through the weekly placements of the celestial bodies within the sky. As always, this is based on True Sidereal Astrology. So, what that means is we are looking straight up to the sky and seeing which constellation the planet resides in at that point in time. So today we're going to go through Sun, Moon, all the way out to Pluto, and we're going to talk a little bit about Chiron as well, which planets are in retrograde, which planets aren't, and yeah, that's really it. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about True Sidereal Astrology, click into the description below and you'll see a blog post talking through all of that, including the differences between Western astrology or tropical astrology, which is the mainstream astrology that most people utilize, and True Sidereal Astrology. If you're interested in getting a reading for your birth chart or your natal chart, I also provide that, so you can find that link in the description below as well. Those can be done virtually or in person. So let's dive right in and get into it. All right, so here we can see the sky through this app. This app is called Stellarium, and we can see it's set to Monday the 16th. And the sun is currently sitting within the constellation Virgo. And here we go, there's the sun. This is going to stay within the constellation Virgo until the beginning of November, actually. So if you are following True Sidereal Astrology, it is still Virgo season, as we can see here. And the sun being in Virgo, we have a lot of groundedness. We are structuring certain parts of our lives. Wherever you have a Virgo placement within your chart, that house that is connected to that placement is going to give you a little bit more information as to what area of life this is going to affect you. But we're feeling a little bit grounded, we're feeling a little bit stable and rooted, and we're structuring and finding routines that work for us in this season of our lives. And as we can see, we also have Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury is going to be in Virgo for quite some time. I want to say until the 28th. Nope. There we go. The 31st, Mercury is going to move into Libra. So we still have a couple of weeks left of Mercury sitting within Virgo. And what this means is that the way that we're communicating to others, to ourselves, it's really that earthy energy of that groundedness, that we're thinking before we're talking, we're structuring the way that we're speaking. So that's been really helpful. And since Mercury has been out of retrograde, this has been an extremely helpful experience because we're in this state of like really grounded communication. And that's a great way to be when you're trying to communicate effectively. So that's what we're experiencing now. We're communicating effectively and everything is more efficient. So you may recognize that you are saying things in a few concise words rather than telling a whole story and explaining things. But you feel really good about the way that you're communicating. And we also have Mars over here in Virgo. So Mars is connected to our root chakra, and our root chakra deals with how rooted we feel in our lives. It deals with our sense of security and stability, abundance, especially financially. So we're feeling fairly good in these areas of our lives as well. Mars is also where we how we connect to our aggression. So when we're communicating right now and we feel aggressive, we're doing so from a very grounded state of mind. And we're structuring our thoughts in ways that make us feel rooted in the conversation, in the situation, in the experience. And Mars is going to stay here for quite a while as well. Let's see. The 3rd of November is when he'll move into Libra. So let's go back here. Now we also have the moon, and the moon has just entered Libra. So this past weekend on Saturday, we had the moon, and let's go back. We had, too far. The moon in the constellation Virgo for the new moon solar eclipse. And that was a very potent time. And we're still feeling a lot of that energy coming through this week as well, because that was the start of eclipse season, right? That was the very beginning. And now we're in a season where we're going to have eclipses coming. It's a season of transformation. Eclipses are not scary. They're just there to shake things up so that we stay on the right path and release the things that we don't need anymore. So the moon was just in Virgo. She has now entered into Libra. So now we had that like shake up from being grounded and setting the intentions, and also that eclipse. So we moved from that energy and we're bringing it into Libra, which is way more about balance, right? So we're figuring out how to find balance within our emotions, how to find balance between trusting ourselves and trusting other people, how to find balance between our intuitive state and our conscious state, between subconscious and conscious, right? So we're finding those balances right now because the moon is in Libra. And if you've set an intention for the new moon last weekend, this is where you're going to start to pick up the pace a little bit, right? So we're starting to take action. Right now, the moon is in a waning crescent. So this week, the moon is going to go from waning crescent all the way, I want to say first quarter. Yeah, first quarter. So it's moving from, and we'll see the moon is within Capricorn in the first quarter by Sunday. So we start in Libra, and I'm going forward instead of back. Let's head back here. There we go. And then let's go back to the moon. Where is the moon? Here we go. There's the moon. Moon in Libra. So we're finding those balances, and then the moon is going to move into Scorpio, into Ophiuchus, which is between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So we can see Ophiuchus here, and right there between Sagittarius and Scorpio is when the moon is going to hit Ophiuchus. And then we'll go into Sagittarius all the way into Capricorn. So here's what we're doing. We're finding the balance. We're moving into releasing of emotions within Scorpio. We're finding that feminine energy and really connecting to it through Ophiuchus. And then we're moving into a nice fiery energy and taking action, which is the perfect time to run into Sagittarius, right? Is when the moon is starting to go into the first quarter phase. We're taking action there. And then we'll end out the week in Capricorn, which, after taking so much action and that fiery energy, we're going to then become a little bit more grounded, but we're still going to be feeling the need to work hard and continue moving forward. So, finding that balance of how do we continue to move forward and progress in our goals while also staying grounded and rooted within ourselves. So, let's head back. So, that's the moon for this week. And I also just want to take a step back here and chat a little bit about Venus. Venus is within Leo, and she's going to stay there for another, let's see, I want to say a week and a half or so. Definitely all this week. Maybe 2 weeks. All right, so on Halloween, again, Tuesday, October 31st, we're going to see Venus enter Leo. So Venus is within Leo right now, and she's going to stay there for another 15 days. I'm not the greatest at math, but she'll move into Virgo on the 31st of this month. And really what this is our relationships with ourselves and others, the feminine to the masculine of Mercury, right? What we value in life. And we're experiencing some fire energy with that right now. If we are not living within our values, that Leo is going to roar very loudly, and the lion is going to tell us, hey, get back in alignment, right? This is not where we belong in our relationships. This is not what you need to be focusing on in your relationships. So just kind of note wherever you feel off and where you feel, or if you hear or experience something that feels like a roar, right? That loud roar, just check in with yourself and make sure that you're in alignment with yourself. Now, let's see. So we've got Uranus here in Taurus, and Uranus is also within retrograde right now. So this is a very generational planet. It is not personal. It's not one of our luminaries. It's not anything really close to that either. It's way out there. So we're not feeling this on like a conscious level. This is all working in our unconscious, right? And it's a very deep rooted planet. So within this Taurus, with Uranus in Taurus retrograde, wow. We're experiencing some deep levels of healing within ourselves, and it's going to stay that way for quite a bit of time. We're only at the very first hoof really of Taurus, and the outer planets stay within the constellations for a longer period of time simply because they take a longer time to move around the ecliptic, which is where they move within these constellations. It's like you can't see my finger right now, but it's the ecliptic, so it's a little circle around us. So that energy is going to stay the same, and Uranus is also going to be in retrograde for a little bit longer too. It's been, I want to say, just over a month and a half, and we're still going to feel all of this energy. And we also have Jupiter here in Aries. So he's sitting within the constellation Aries right now, which means Jupiter is our planet of it's the feminine to the masculine of Saturn, right? Where Saturn is way more structure. Jupiter is more flow, right? But we're feeling that fieriness to this planet. So it's offering us a way to invite more fire into our lives. And with Aries in particular, it's a way to invite more dedication to the things that we want to master. Dedication and hard work. And I keep feeling the word mastery. That's the word that's really shining through for me right now. So whatever you're working on right now that you really want to master and become an expert in, this is the time to do it. Jupiter is also within a retrograde right now. So just be cognizant of that. If you're trying to master something and you're getting frustrated, take a break, right? You don't have to focus on this all the time in order to master it. You need to focus on it for a certain period of time and maybe even bring about some of that structure, right? Of I'm going to set aside an hour every week and I'm going to work on this, and that's it. So just be cognizant of those things. And if you're feeling a little bit frustrated, that could be why. Now, Neptune is in Pisces, but we can't see Neptune because it's very dark. So this is Neptune right here. The little pulsating lines are showing you this. Neptune is within Pisces right now. So we've got an ice planet within a water constellation. And this is another one that is on the outskirts. So it's very generational. This is happening all deeply within us. We're not necessarily feeling this on a conscious level. We may not even be aware of what's happening here, but there is a deep sense of transformation and healing that's coming within us deeply, like on our soul level, through Neptune being in retrograde within the constellation Pisces. And though Neptune is not necessarily associated with emotions, this is an emotionally turbulent time for us because of Neptune being within Pisces and it being within retrograde, right? So we're experiencing a lot of different emotions in regards to things that are affecting us on a societal and collective level. So that is really Neptune. And this, we can see Pisces is one of the larger signs, especially compared to like Aries, right? Pisces is one of the larger signs. So Neptune's going to be in Pisces for quite some time, being within one of the larger signs and also being a generational or outer planet. That means that it takes longer to go through the constellations in general. So that's a little bit of Neptune. And we've got lovely Saturn here sitting within the constellation Aquarius. And for any of you going through your Saturn return right now, if your Saturn is in Aquarius, this is really going to affect you more than anybody else. I currently am going through my Saturn return in Aquarius right now. It's a grand old time. If you take a look at the house that is associated with that, it'll tell you which area of life you are working on right now. And Saturn is also within retrograde. So there comes with that some frustration, some misalignment. But really all Saturn is, he really cares about us, right? He really wants us to find routine and he wants us to find structure and he wants us to find, what we're meant to be doing. So that's what Saturn's doing. And within the constellation Aquarius is an air sign. So we're working on our intellectual nature. Aquarius is also like quirky and weird and lovely and amazing. So if you are finding yourself feeling a little weird, feeling a little quirky, and quote unquote not normal, whatever that means, this is why. It's because Saturn's within Aquarius, and he's currently going through a retrograde period. So we're seeing the shadow come to light. And Saturn has been in Aquarius for quite some time, much to my dismay. And because of the retrograde, he's actually moving backwards within the constellation. So until retrograde is done for Saturn, he will not be moving forward in the constellation, and therefore he will not be going into Pisces until afterwards. It's very sad for all of us in Saturn retrograde right now. But what that means, and in the miracle of this, is that we're spending so much time here learning and healing those intricate and deep parts of ourselves through all of this. So it is a blessing in disguise. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but years from now, we're going to look back and be like, oh, that is why this happened. And it makes me so happy that it happened this way. Trust me, it's all good. Okay. Oops, going the wrong way. So Pluto is in Sagittarius right now, and we can't see him. There he is. So Pluto's sitting within Sagittarius right now. Pluto just came out of a retrograde not too long ago. He is the outmost planet. So anything that we feel within Pluto is really deep, spiritual. He's the planet of transformation. He's the planet of messages. So we're actually moving from Sagittarius, like the very tail end, into Capricorn. So within the next probably 2 weeks or so, Pluto's actually going to be within a void state between the two signs, but we're moving into Capricorn, which is a much more grounded and lovely sign. Not that Sagittarius isn't, it's just we need that balance between the fire and the earth, right? Which is why all of this is set up the way that it is, right? Because the universe knew that we needed to find those balances. So here we are. I think that's it. Let's make sure. Sagittarius, Ophiuchus, Scorpio, and then we're back to the moon. Yeah, so that's it for this week. That is the update. And we'll go through next week and see what happens next time. Thank you for joining me this week to check out what's happening in the sky and with all of the wonderful celestial bodies that we have within the universe in the Milky Way. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments below what's kind of going on for you, how you're feeling. I know I'm feeling a couple of certain ways, definitely a little bit chaotic, but I feel the goodness in it. So let me know if you resonate with any of the wonderful things that are happening in the sky right now. Tell me how you're feeling. Make sure to subscribe because these will be coming out weekly. So always make sure that you get to know what's happening for you in the sky this week, what to expect, how to prepare, and you can click on the description below if you're interested in a astrology chart reading. Those can be done virtually or in person at Danvers Wellness Center in Danvers, Mass. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know below, and I can address any questions that you have on a different video, or maybe even the video for this next week. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.